Hello students, welcome to lecture number 16 in this series. Today we are going to discuss about the concepts of idealized stress strain curves. The idealized stress strain curves are nothing but the stress strain curve what we obtain whenever we are going to perform the tests on concrete and steel. Normally, the behavior of concrete subjected to external loads is analyzed by using the test like a compression test on concrete and tensile strength on steel by using CTM and UTM, that is universal testing machine normally. So today we'll discuss first the idealized stress strain curve for the concrete. Before going to know that what is the idealized stress strain curve, we have to think out about the normal stress strain curve for the concrete. So to as I told that normally for the getting information about the behavior of material, we are doing the stress strain curves. Okay, so that is to simplify the analysis, stress strain curves have been idealized as discussed below. So from the actual behavior of the materials subjected to external loads, we are going to plot some normal curves or curves from the actual data what we obtain after the testing, and this data is to be analyzed, and this same data we are going to use or we are going to utilize for the design purpose. But while using this data for the analysis purpose, we cannot adopt this data as it is. So for that we need to do some minor changes. That is, we have to convert this actual curves into the ideal curves. So for that simplification of analysis, stress strain curves have to be idealized, and the process of idealization of this curve will be discussed here. So as I told you, we are going to discuss the idealized stress strain curves for concrete and for steel in this lecture. So let us start with the concrete. So as we know that the concrete is a brittle material which carries comparatively high compressive stress and low tensile stresses. So after performing the compression test on the concrete blocks, we obtain some data in the form of its characteristic strength, in the form of stress variation and deformations in that block. So throughout the world, irrespective of the grades of concrete, only one stress strain curve is accepted. So let us start discussion on this. So suppose if we plot a graph against stress and strain as shown in the this picture, normally for the concrete of any grade, the general curve what we obtain it may be like this. So the nature, as we already discussed in last lecture and before the last lectures also, that the stress strain curve for the concrete also varies linearly up to a certain point, and then after a certain point this graph may behave non-linearly, and after some point this concrete will get failed. So this is the general nature. Depending on the characteristic strength or the grade of concrete, this curve may varies, but this is the general nature what we obtain for the concrete. So this is a normal curve what we get after performing compression test on the concrete blocks. But for actual designing, we are not using this curve. For getting the design curves, we have to modify this curve as per the specifications given in the IS code also in the form of assumptions. There are some assumptions made in the limit state method, and according to those assumptions, we are going to derive the idealized stress strain curve in this lecture. So instead of taking the curve as shown previously, normally the curve is adopted as you can see in this picture. So what we are doing here, that we are using initially stress strain curve varies linearly, then up to yield point this is going to change into the parabolic curve, and after that yield point it has been observed normally that the stress remains constant but the strain goes on increasing. Strain goes on increasing means irrespective of stress the strain or the deformation goes on increasing. So the strength at which we obtain this peak point, that peak point is called as a yield point or yield stress, and normally this is denoted by FCK, that is characteristic strength of that concrete. So as discussed in last slide, the idealized curve is a parabola for the initial ascending part, that is from this point to this point. It is a just like a parabola, and then after this point, that is after reaching to the characteristic strength, that curve is continued in a horizontal line and it's going to terminate at the ultimate point or ultimate stress point at which the rupture of that concrete will take place, and the corresponding strain at that rupture is considered as 0.0035. So this is the idealized curve for the concrete. Normal curve is just like this, that from this point this curve may get break like this, but instead of taking this part we are using or we are considering the conceptual line that stress goes or stress remains constant up to a point, that is up to ultimate point, and then it's breakdown. Okay, so that's why this part we are not considering normal. Hence it is called as a idealized curve. Now in further point, as per the codal provisions, that the ultimate strain is considered as 0.0035, but the curve at which we obtain the maximum stress, the corresponding strain, that is normally represented with symbol epsilon naught, that corresponding stresses have different opinions in different codes, but as per the AS 456 point of view, this particular strain is taken as 0.002, just like a 0.2% proof stress. Then, as we know that the characteristic strength, what we normally use, this characteristic strength is based on the tests performed on the concrete cubes which are casted at the laboratory. Means the concrete is prepared in the standard atmosphere, standard conditions, and on that standard cubes we are performing the test so that we can get the actual characteristic strength. But actually in practice, whenever we are using the concrete on the structures, then it will be difficult to obtain the characteristic strength from the concrete which is placed in the structure. We cannot take that concrete from that beam or column and check that concrete because it will affect the durability. So IS code specifies that the strength achieved in the structure may be taken as 0.67 times or 2/3 times the characteristic strength of the concrete. Hence, By using this clause, which is given in IS 456 under the assumptions in limit state method, we have to derive the additional code. Just instead of taking the value of FCK, full value of FCK, we are taking only 0.67 times of FCK. So we'll get a new curve like this. So this curve is called as a theoretical curve. This curve is called as a theoretical curve. I write it as theoretical curve. Now again, as we know that we have to use the partial safety factors also. Okay. In addition to this, we have to use the partial safety factors as recommended by the code. For concrete, we are taking the partial safety factor of 1.5. So again, to this value of 0.67 times FCK, we have to divide with the partial safety factor, that is 1.5. So after performing this step, we'll get one more revised curve like this, and that curve is called as a design curve. Okay, so this curve is called as design curve. This is the design curve. Okay, and this design curve we are going to use in all design process in further to this lecture. Okay, so this is about the design curve for the concrete, and we have derived the design curve like this. So if you take this value instead of gamma m, if we put the value of gamma m for concrete as 1.5, then we'll get this stress. The maximum stress in the concrete will be equals to 0.45 FCK in general. So this is about the idealized stress strain curve for concrete. So we'll stop here. In next lecture, we'll discuss the idealized stress strain curve for steel. Thank you. If you like this lecture, then press on the like button and also share this video to your friends so that they can also get the knowledge about this concept. And do not forget to subscribe to this channel so that you'll get the notifications of new videos. Thank you.